Welcome to Social Media Marketing. This is Sean Canary, your professor on this journey. I'm really glad to have you in class and looking forward to making the connection between social media and marketing objectives for a company. Just a couple of things first. Obviously, first week of class, you guys are getting yourself situated with school and I have posted an attendance assignment. Again, there's no points available for that, but it's just to show that, hey, you guys are here, you're engaged. Again, it's a discussion, just a quick question to ask you about your experience with social media, whether or not that you've used social media to eventually purchase something, and tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're taking this class. So it's a discussion point. And again, this is what I base your attendance off of because in the first 2 weeks of class, I have to submit those people that attend class. And because we're an online class, that's the only way that I can tell that you're actively online and in class. So make sure that you complete that discussion this week. Just quickly jump in there and make some comments. Another thing about this class that I really love is the fact that we're going to be learning about social media marketing in a safe environment. And what I mean by that is that you guys are all used to social media. You have TikTok accounts, you have Facebook accounts, Instagram accounts, some Twitter. I know it's called X, but I'm old, so leave me alone. You have all these social media accounts on a personal level, but how are you going to learn about posting on behalf of a company and achieving business objectives if all you have access to is personal accounts? Well, one thing I really love about the text that you guys bought is the fact that it's got a simulator. They call it a simternship. And it is called Mimic Social. So in addition to your textbook that's online with your quizzes, you guys will be doing marketing for an imaginary company, but using actual social media channels in a safe environment and actually seeing the results of your posts that you're making for this company. So without Mimic Social, you'd be able to do some social media audits, and there will be some assignments throughout the semester about you guys doing social media audits for existing companies that may be competitors of yours. Your final project in this class will be to develop a social media advertising strategy plan for that imaginary or real company. Remember, that is due this week too. I need you to pick a company, whether an existing company or an imaginary company, your choice, but it cannot be a big company that does social media well, meaning that I don't want to see any Nikes or any big companies that have a large presence in social media because they're already doing it. I want to see what you guys can do. So pick a small business. Maybe you work for a small coffee house, or maybe you work for a small company. Do it on them, or just make up a company and something you're passionate about, and we'll work on a plan for that. But because we have Mimic Social too, you guys are going to learn how to run paid ads on social platforms for Facebook, X, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok in a safe environment. You're also going to manage a large advertising budget and allocate funds for content creation and images. A lot of people don't know, but those images those companies post on social media, they're not free. You have to buy that stock photography or pay for photo shoots because you have to have the rights to use those photos to advertise. In addition, you're going to learn a lot about target markets and how to identify your target markets and then attack them with advertising. The first week's discussion point asked you, have you guys ever been subjected to ads on social media that you remember? There was targeting involved of why you received that ad. They identified either you through demographics, meaning your age, your income level, where you live, so on and so forth, or they target you based off your behaviors, meaning all the different channels you go to, the type of videos you watch. but there's no accident of why those ads found their way to you. But with Mimic Social, you'll be able to target and you'll be able to learn about these ICPs and how to target effectively. And frankly, this is almost like an internship. You'll be able to walk out of here saying, yeah, I planned and executed an advertising plan through my class, through a simulator, and take screenshots along the way, download the completion certificate at the end. It's a nice thing to add to your resume. So now that we got those ground rules out of the way, let's talk about Chapter 1. And Chapter 1 really is the introduction to social media and the social media revolution that we live in. And obviously, it's been going on for years now. But I want you to kind of walk away after Chapter 1 and understand why social media is so important as an advertising and marketing initiative for a company. Right? I want you to be able to define what social media is and what social media marketing is. And the best way I can describe what social media marketing is using social media to achieve business goals. Now, a lot of times those business goals may be revenue or it may be customer service related. So we're going to talk about a lot of the different things that we can accomplish with social media. Right? And we're going to talk about the difference between traditional marketing, like I said, and social media marketing, and explain why social media marketing is interactions first, channels second. So, social media revolution. It's the massive fundamental shift about how people communicate, interact, and share experiences and information. And if you think about it, think about all the people that are in your life. Social media is such a powerful advertising method because a lot of times you're being advertised to by influencers and not the company themselves. You put more weight in social media about what other people say, other people's reviews and other people's opinions about companies, but you're still being advertised to by the company. Obviously, monthly users, Facebook and Instagram are still the behemoths, but YouTube and TikTok are coming up right behind there. And this data is a little bit old, but TikTok is slowly catching Instagram and Facebook. And a lot of people don't realize, but YouTube is a social media platform. Why is it social media? Well, if you ever notice on those YouTube videos, there's commenting below that, right? And really, that's what defines social media. Social media is different than traditional media because of that social interactivity. It's openness and flexibility, it's fast-paced flows of information, and it's constant innovation and evolution. If you think about it, social media are channels that allow you to interact with brands. And social media marketing is a process that involves identifying opportunities for leveraging that interactivity among consumers in an open and flexible environment, right? When thinking about social media marketing, focus on how activities through social media can create value for companies, right? Whether it's a customer service interaction or whether it's just a brand interaction. Have you ever been on social media and tagged a certain brand and they commented back? Think about that interaction. That probably felt pretty cool to you, and that a brand was listening. It's probably pretty cool when you see like the snarky Wendy's remarks, or you go on or you mention Chipotle and they talk back to you. Think about that when comparison to traditional advertising. Completely different experience, and it's a really cool way to interact with companies. And that really is the difference between traditional marketing and social media marketing. Traditional marketing is a company talking to consumers with just talking to consumers and pushing things out to consumers. However, social media marketing is a open communication between the company and consumers. Companies posting things out and consumers talking back to those companies. And then if you notice on the bottom right, consumers are talking to each other about the said company. So it's an interesting dynamic if you think about how different social media marketing is to other traditional marketing channels. So I really want you to think about that as we go through chapter 1. Because social media marketing is interactions first and channels second. And what I mean by that is, companies and customers are involved with interaction each other. Does that mean that you need to be on every channel as a brand? No, that's where the flaw is with a lot of companies' social media presence. Only choose the social media channels where your customers are, right? And if you think about it, as I saw several of you are interested in fashion design. Do you think Twitter would be, or X would be a great channel for fashion? Maybe, but I would think Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest would be better for a fashion brand, don't you? So you got to think about who your customers are, what age range and their demographics and where they're located at. But you also got to think about where your consumers are hanging out. And that's how you choose the channels. And remember, interactions first and channels second. So chapter 1 really is an introduction into that whole social media marketing and what is social media marketing and how it differs from traditional marketing. So at the end of the chapter, there is a quiz that I expect you to complete. And then also too, the assignment this week is to choose that company that you do want to create a social media marketing plan for. As always, I'll be here throughout the semester. I'll be leaving messages like this. So if you have any questions, please reach out and make sure that you stay tuned for other videos.